Hey man, say man, welcome back to another episode 27 of Check the Stats podcast, man. I said welcome back to another episode of Check the Stats podcast. Episode 27. I'm your host, TCal, man. Here to the left, we got my other co-host, Big Omari, and at the bottom, we got Big Versea, man. And then, the top right corner, a lot of people on YouTube want to say my takes are bad or whatever. I don't care. This young man just hit for a parlay today, so I'm going to need y'all to put some respect on my name. I'm him. Nigga, I'm him, goddammit. How y'all boys doing, man? I'm having a blessed week. 2 hits. All I can say is I hit 2 times in 2 days. Nigga, somebody pinch me, nigga. I'm finna turn up right now. I'm finna go crazy. How are y'all boys doing on this blessed Tuesday night? Because I'm very blessed. So how are my boys doing, man?
Like you said, man, very blessed now. Very blessed.
Man, I can't complain at all.
To my corner left, my co-host also hit on a parlay that he tell me as well. $100, man. If y'all want to come out with a segment, we're gonna come out with our check the stats picks coming very soon. If y'all smart, if y'all like making money, you see that TCal name up there. I'm gonna need y'all to tap in with him when he putting up them plays. Cause ask your boy to the left, he done made him a pretty penny.
Maybe a quick little hundred ball type shit.
But despite all that, man, let's get into the business today, man. Starting off, NFL, man. NFL breaking news. And Mari, I'll kick it off and we'll just pass around the table. But NFL breaking news, Dionte Johnson, ex-Pittsburgh Steelers, ex-Carolina Panthers have been traded to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, for the compensation, Charles, are you sure on what the compensation was for it? Because all I seen was just a bunch of Dionte Johnson trade. Was it a fifth?
I can check right now.
All right, cool. But you can get back with it. But Dionte Johnson traded to the Baltimore Ravens. So my question to y'all is, the Dionte Johnson moved the needle for the Baltimore Ravens to make them contenders? Or where did the Dionte Johnson trade put the Ravens in the thick of the AFC race?
I ain't gonna say. We just gonna have to see. I like that move for them. I feel like they got like another nice receiver. He can get open. I feel like he's better than pretty much all of the receivers that's on that team, except Zay Flowers. I ain't gonna lie. But Dionte Johnson is very versatile. He can get open. He can run routes. He can catch. He's fast. So I like that about him. So that's like another target for Lamar to throw to. I feel like he's gonna be in the end zone quite a few times, bro. I feel like he's gonna get to the end zone a lot. Now, does this move the needle for him? I'm saying like just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say like they like a complete team just yet. You know what I mean? But other than that, I feel like it's like I feel like he's a great addition to the team for sure for that offense. You know what I'm saying? He can open up, like they can open up the field more if that makes sense. You know what I mean? For Lamar to throw the ball. So yeah.
Charles, what you got to say about that atrocious move?
You say it's atrocious?
Man, yeah. You go ahead because I want to make sure y'all hear me loud and clear.
I think it's a good pickup for the Ravens. I mean, as far as whether it moves a needle or not, it depends on how they utilize them. It's not necessarily like the most pass-heavy team in the world. You can definitely see the value that he could add to your team, seeing that you got, games in which Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman don't necessarily look like the greatest receivers in the world. So, I mean, to give you more depth and more options for putting that ball in the air, it definitely helps them. Doesn't necessarily put them over the top. It kind of has me looking at them as like, okay, they got another piece to the puzzle, but at the same time, it's like it doesn't really do nothing crazy. Move the needle maybe about an inch, but if they trying to go to the Super Bowl, they need to probably move a couple more feet, if that makes sense.
Man, I don't Dionte Johnson is a cool receiver. I don't see him moving no needle. Me just starting off, he's a slot. Do they have a slot? Yes, they do. Zay Flowers, he's pretty good at it. Dionte Johnson, is he an improvement in the wide receiver room? Yes, he is. I'm not going to sit here and downgrade it, but Dionte Johnson, we act like his goddamn Jesus Christ. Like, this dude is okay. Like, he's an okay receiver. I'm not going to sit here. Is he top 10? No. Is he top 15? No. Is he top 20? No. Is he top 25? No. Is he top 30? Yes. We can be fair. We can debate on who we think is better than Dionte Johnson, but I'm pretty sure none of y'all will argue me for at least saying he's not a top 20 receiver. He's an average receiver at best.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's accurate.
He's an above average receiver. And that's okay. I don't see. Does it move the needle for me? Not really. Not really. What y'all gonna do? Run double slots? Like, they're both slots. Like, Zay Flowers primarily gets busy in the slot. Dionte Johnson is a slot. I didn't really see the weakness in the receiver group. They have their drops, but what NFL team doesn't have drops? And that's what pissed me off about Ravens fans. Like, Ravens fans, it's not Lamar Jackson's fault. Well, newsflash, Patrick Mahomes, he has the same issues. CJ Stroud has the same issue. Every quarterback in the league don't have a sure-handed receiver that catches every pass that come their way. It's football. Things happen. Don't receive that. Them weapons that he has. And also, let me just one more thing, and we can move on to the next topic. Lamar Jackson, when has he ever, and I mean ever, utilized his wide receivers for it to be such a big complaint on why he don't have receivers? He has always been a tight end, running back, feeder of the football. Like, that's all his targets go to. If y'all go check the targets outside of like this year, but most of the time, who is the ball going to? Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, or Justice Hill, and who else? Zay Flowers on screen routes and or 5 yard hitches, or like it's what are we doing? Like, that's not Lamar Jackson game. He isn't a throw the ball down the field type guy. Now, can he do it? Yes. But a lot of his stuff is 5'10", intermediate. Like, he's not, it's no deep threats. It's no, we need an X wide receiver to go out there and be a game changer. Like, his stuff is most of the time line of scrimmage, like 7 yard range. A lot of yak guys catch the ball who can get in space, do a little something with it. But like, them adding that receiver is like, he's cool. Like, Dionte Johnson is not a bad receiver. Does he make the wide receiver room better? Yes. But does he move the needle? No. Like, Dionte Johnson was cool. Like, if he was so good, why did Pittsburgh move off of him with no hesitation whatsoever? If he was so good, why did Carolina move off him with no hesitation ever after trading for him this previous offseason? Like, we got to start thinking about things. Like, Adam Thielen is still on their team. And I know he got injured and stuff like that. Adam Thielen's still on that team. And Dionte Johnson, the first person to move when you have a young quarterback in Bryce Young, that anybody with a brain would know you don't move off of great weapons when you have a young quarterback that's in this developmental process of getting the feel of the NFL. And what's better than having a sure-handed number one receiver that's going to make the adjustment period easier for the quarterback? And if they thought so highly of Dionte Johnson, I promise you they weren't going to move off of him. So we got to kind of put things in their perspective. I don't think Dionte Johnson moves the needle for me whatsoever. But, it's another slot you throw in there and y'all still lose. Y'all going to still lose to the same team that I said that y'all going to lose to prior. So that's all I got to say about that. Mari, you can go on to the next topic.
All right, my bad. I'm getting that timestamp down. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. We're going to talk about them Texans, man. So my question to y'all is it time to panic for the Texans?
If it wasn't time to panic already, man, me and Charles, we're in a frenzy because it's an unfortunate day in Houston, Texas, when I don't know the exact time, but we figured out that the star wide receiver that we acquired for a second-round pick in Stephon Diggs has officially tore his ACL and will be out for the remainder of the season. Very disappointing news, man. Very disappointing. I mean, very sure-handed guy. Was he the same guy he was in Buffalo? Hell no, not at all. Was he kind of disappointing to Texas fans as what we expected from him? Kind of, sort of, yeah. But was he an above average receiver? Yes. Was he somebody that kept will keep the defense modest when we get Nico back and we have full strength? Of course. But, and I know I might sound a little crazy, so please forgive me, but I mean, it hurts, but I think we'll be okay. I think we don't call the Texans the deepest receiver room in the league for no reason. Like, we still have Tank Dell, and obviously Tank Dell hasn't performed up to standards as we know as Texans fans before his injury, but I still have a little bit of belief in him. Nico Collins, he was the best receiver in the NFL before he got injured. And if you don't want to believe me, check the stats. He was number one in the league for about 2 games before he was ahead in the receiver yards ranking for 2 straight weeks when he didn't play a snap. That just has to if for the football brains out there that's not computing what I'm saying. I'm gonna backtrack it for a second. We're gonna go back in reverse. Nico Collins, number 12 for the Houston Texans, was still top 5 in receiving yards, and he didn't play 2. And let me compute it. 4, 8. He didn't play 11 quarters, and he was still top 5 in receiving yards prior to this Sunday. Do you know how elite you have to be to be still in top 5 receiver rankings? I mean, he was still in top 5 receiving yards, and he didn't play for 11 quarters. He just got past it, and he's still top 10. That just shows you how dominant. And you can't say he was being force-fed, because if you watch the film, it's not like they're just throwing him a bunch of contested balls or they're forcing him, making him like, you know how the wide receiver ones where they're divas and they're crying and they give me the damn ball. I need to get implemented in the game. Like, if I'm not implementing the game, I can't get a rhythm. Nico Collins getting open on his own off rip. It's not we got to implement Nico in the game. It's goddamn, he's so wide open. Why the hell would I not throw him the football? He's open. Like, he was elite. He was the elite separator. He's coming back for week 10 in Detroit. But let me get back on track for a second. Now, pass to you, Charles. It's a very, 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 very annoying feeling being a Texas fan every single Sunday, watching this elite level defense go out there time and time and time again and do what it's supposed to do. And then we have an offense that can't put it together for 4 quarters. I don't know. I mean, obviously, we know one of the reasons is Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick play calling. I mean, I think you need one of these. My bad. One of these. You need one of them backhands, because what the hell are you doing? We don't have the offensive line to run every set every set that you thought we could run last year that looks to perfection. We don't have that line. Stop. You have to adjust, because at a certain point, we know CJ's talented. We know you want to display his talent. We know he has the weapons to make it look good and pretty, and we want to be that flashy team. But you know what? We don't have we don't have the beef up front to make it happen. CJ is getting hit extremely too much. He's pressured and when I say every single snap, he's dropping back every single snap. I promise you, I don't watch about 3/4 of the league of quarterbacks being able to sit back in the pocket and at least have 3 to 4 seconds to observe the field before making a progression or scrambling to make a play outside of structure. CJ has none of that. The moment CJ says hut, this is what happens. He downs it. He catches the ball and he's frantic. He's running for his life because he has nobody up front that cares for his well-being. He has nobody up front that cares about winning football games. We have a terrorist up front named Keon Green sabotaging the Houston Texans from the inside out. He had a PFF grade of 29.6. At certain points of time, it looks like he's giving them a chauffeur to the quarterback. He's literally opening up. I seen one time He got blown off the ball so bad. He pushed the other defender that was on the edge that Larry Tunsil was blocking to the quarterback. He was trying to get him sacked faster so he could get back to the sideline. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The Texans, we have to make a judgment. D'Amico Ryans, if I hear you say another motherfucking word about Keon Green starting another fucking snap for the Houston Texans because we don't want to sit game with them, I'm going to come to NRG myself. We're going to have a man-to-man talk because that's not okay. You're not a serious football coach if you're talking about starting the worst left guard in the league that consistently getting him pressure. I've never – and get off of mic. Get off of mute. I want to hear both of y'all when I say this. When have we ever seen CJ Sharp animated like that? Ever. And I mean ever. As much as he had been this season. And he's only been in the league for 1 year. This is his second year. But when have we ever seen him animated like this multiple times? I mean, you can pull up multiple clips. CJ slamming his helmet. CJ going to go talk to his line. CJ's arguing with Bobby Slowick. It's video of him arguing with Bobby Slowick. So I'm sitting here asking y'all, when have y'all ever seen CJ this hysterical? And y'all know he's calm, cool, collected, know how to keep his composure no matter what the situation. But you know how bad it is for that young man to lose his cool, to forget where he at because he's reacting off of emotion because he feels like these dudes aren't helping me. These dudes aren't trying. These dudes aren't. They don't care for the success of this football team. These dudes want to see us. These dudes trying to see me dead. These dudes trying to see me hurt because there's no way that y'all are trying to come out here and win a football game every single day and you enjoying seeing me on the ground multiple times. Like it's over 15 times, Charles. Omari, it's over 15 times. And I know you think you got it bad in Los Angeles because you have no receivers, but imagine having no time to throw the football. Imagine having no time to throw the football whatsoever, bro. He's making water out of. He's making wine out of water.
That's what Justin Herbert doing too.
Nah, he ain't doing it on that level. Now, and Justin Herbert, he's elite. Like his arm talent is, he probably has top 5 arm talent, and that's really a stretch.
He making it work with what he got. I say that he making it work with what he got, especially with Lab after what he just did last game. But yeah, that O-line is very important now.
Yes, but it's a very frustrating sight, man. As a Texan fan, bro, just watching that man get annihilated year after year after year. Game after game after game. It's sad, bro. We need to find a solution. We need to trade for Wyatt Teller from the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, you did us one favor with Deshaun Watson. Do us another one and give us Wyatt Teller. When I tell you we need pass protection, we need pass protection. That left side is weak. We need it. Our defense is elite. Now, if y'all want to make it a acquiree, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Cleveland, if y'all having a fire sale, we're available. We want to be involved in whatever y'all got going on. Okay, I got a lot of talent. We down the deal. But if I'm a Houston Texan fan, which I am, I'm in 100% panic mode. I'm very scared, very frantic because I just don't believe. I don't believe that we can be serious Super Bowl contenders if we continue to keep this team as currently constructed because we're not going far. We're not going far though.
Yeah, it's Halloween is right around the corner, but today was a lot more spookier than the 31st, I tell you that. Panic, I don't want to say is the right word. I think the right word for us is like a cause of concern because we definitely have a nice amount of problems. For the Diggs thing, it's like when I said we had the deepest wide receiving core in the league, it was because I looked at us as having an insurance policy. If one of our guys go down, if Nico went down, which he did earlier in the season, we got Stephon assuming his normal role as a number 1 and Tank Dell getting more opportunities to shine at his normal spot at number 2. If Diggs were to go down, then we right back to what we were doing last year. And if Tank were to go down, we still have our 2 aces in the hole. Well, what I didn't account for was having 2 of our main guys out. Now, granted, it seems like it's only going to be for 1 game because Nico is coming back soon and can't wait for it. But with the way that Tank Dell has been looking so far, it hasn't necessarily been a sight for sore eyes. I will not lie. I think he's due for a big game, and he better be, but it's tough. I understand.
especially
Well,
as wide receiver one in New York. He gonna
yeah,
be wide receiver one in New York on Thursday Night Football. Mainly, I don't know who's gonna be guarding him. If he's gonna be slot outside, Sauce Gardner will look bad this year. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. Everybody wanna pre. His name is Ahmad. His name is Ahmad. Ahmad Gardner. You're not Sauce. You don't get Sauce. You're playing too bad. You don't get the cool nickname. Your name is Ahmad Gardner. He's gonna have Ahmad Gardner, and he's gonna have who the other guy?
I can't think of it off the
Jay
top of my
Reed.
head. Oh yeah,
He's gonna
but
have one of them two DBs guarding him. So it's gonna be a Tank Dell breaking out party. It's gonna be a John Mechie breaking out party. It's gonna be a Xavier Hutchinson breaking out party. I got 100% confidence in my guys.
I got 100% confidence in those guys too. But last time we was on the Jets field, and it's not even just about the results as far as wins or losses. That apparently that turf is horrendous. Like it takes out stars left and right. Last year we got a taste of it in our own hands. With it taking out CJ, taking out Will Anderson. If I'm not mistaken, I think it even took out Nico Collins at one point. So it's just a house of horrors from that aspect alone. Also, Bobby Slovic has just not been looking right on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, I understand you want to try to get creative, but at times you try to be aggressive and it's not able to happen because our offensive line is so terrible in pass protection. And at times you're trying to be so conservative that you're almost costing us games. Hell, he did cost us a game when we was in Lambeau Field in Green Bay. It was a situation where he was trying to go and run out all the time on the clock. And then at the last second, he decides he wants to throw a pass. I'm not even mad at the fact that he threw a pass, but he threw an out route towards the sideline. If that's completed, the clock stops. And they still had one timeout left on the board. Spoiler alert, they used it so that they could kick the game-winning field goal and give us our second loss of the season. It's not really good what he's doing so far this season. And I get it, we're 6-2, and it sounds like I'm being a perfectionist, but it just it ain't the way that it's supposed to look with the amount of talent that we have. And now that talent is depleted to a certain extent because of injuries. We were depleted at the defensive side of the ball with the linebacking core. We don't even know what Christian Harris' situation is. I doubt that he might come back till the end of the season, if at all. And we lucky as hell that we got Omari back at corner.
Hey, we got Henry Toto. He's off with concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Alshire, he came back off his knee injury. He came back to practice, and Jimmy Ward came back. So I mean, it's been a blow having Stephon. He out, and then Nico. He coming back in about a week. But I mean, to say that we got, and it's really annoying, and not to mean to cut you off, by the way, but it's really annoying just seeing like we lose so many defensive pieces, but our defense remains solid. It's always the offense. Like we lost to Green Bay 20. I can't remember that weekend score 24-22.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're losing game. We're dominating on the opposite side of the ball. With not even our starting level players. That just goes to show you how elite our defense is. We just need the offense to come along, and then we'll really be talking. But our offense hasn't came along not once this season outside of the Patriot game. That really shouldn't count because they're obviously in the running for Travis Hunter.
Yeah. And then another blow for us too. Jared Patterson. I mean, you just talked about Kenyon Green and how he had to step in for him.
Terrorists.
Not even just that. It's just like Jared Patterson, the situation with him with the concussion. We all remember when Tua got a concussion on a Sunday, and then they had a Thursday night game against the Bengals, and he got a concussion immediately again. And O-line in them trenches, it get dirty for real. So they certainly probably not going to risk him getting hurt again or re-aggravating that concussion and having him in protocol for a longer period of time. I think also our over-reliance on our defense and Joe Mixon is insane because while Joe Mixon has been producing and while I love what I'm getting from him, it's like at this point in time, especially with the injuries to our receivers, it looks like it's him or bust on the offensive side of the ball because CJ's trying to turn water into wine And he barely even has the ability to do that because literally last game against one of the worst defenses in the NFL in the Indianapolis Colts, he was pressured on 55% of his dropbacks. He threw the ball almost 40 times. That's almost half of his passes that's over half of his passes in which he feels pressure, in which he's getting hit, in which he's getting thrown to the turf, to the ground. That's atrocious. That's awful. That shouldn't be acceptable. And our run blocking is good. Our schemes are good for Joe Mixon, but I don't want to mess around and have him running into the ground just because our pass protection isn't able to complete anything other than something quick. It's terrible. And our defense is elite. I've noticed that from the start of the season, but defenses can only bend and not break for a certain amount of time until either they mess around and find holes within themselves or the injuries start to pile up, which they have already to our linebacker core, to our secondary. It's crazy. So the fact that we won that Colts game, it definitely gives me a lot of promise because we have breathing room in the division. And we basically got that wrapped up with the way Jacksonville and Tennessee is looking. We got room for error, especially with the fact that we're 6-2, because I predicted we would probably be 6-2 in this point of the season. But we also got a lot of room for improvement. And it's a lot of improvement we need to do for sure.
All right, man. Well, I don't think I gotta say my part. Y'all pretty much said everything.
Yeah, you good.
All right, moving on to the NBA, man. Who do you think will be the biggest threat to come out of the Western Conference this year?
Y'all might think I'm crazy, man, but I'll say Los Angeles Lakers. I think the Los Angeles Lakers look real good, man. I mean, it just goes to show you, man, coaching does matter. It doesn't matter about how much talent that you have. At the end of the day, coaching matters. Respect matters. JJ Redick, for whatever people wanted to say that he was unexperienced, he was this, he was that. Why y'all just wouldn't have paid the cheapest guy. They don't like spending money on their head coaches and stuff. Hey, y'all he's a basketball junkie. And if you didn't know that from his time in the league, or shoot, ESPN, his podcast, that should have told you enough already. Like, he knows the game inside and out. He knows the sets. He knows how to utilize his players, man. I've never seen the Lakers run these many sets. And it's crazy because they're not complicated sets whatsoever. But it's a lot of motion. And that's all you need in the NBA to be successful. If you don't have that individual talent that can just go out there and get a buck, which they do, and LeBron James, obviously, but he's in his older years, so he can't just be getting to it like he used to. But I mean, sets. The sets they're running sets. Their defense looks amazing. I mean, prior to the loss yesterday, LeBron was horrendous. Like, the only reason they lost to Phoenix because he was horrendous. But outside of that, the Lakers look really good, man. I mean, Anthony Davis being implemented as that number one option that he was brought in 2019 to truly be. It's amazing to see that he can be that, because for the longest period of time, the biggest question was, can Anthony Davis ever become the true number one option that he was brought to LA to be? Because LeBron James, he constantly had to take over that load of being like, damn, like, I'm trying, like, he's literally saying it in press conferences. He's saying in preseason, in the preseason little photo shoots and stuff like that. Like, this AD team, he driving the bus. I'm just trying to be the passenger. And for some odd reason, the role would be reversed, and they done switch seats. And Brian, he leading the team at 38, 37, 36. Like, it was undoable. And you can't be a true contender with LeBron James leading your team. I'm not saying LeBron James being a key contributor, because LeBron James gonna always be LeBron. We know his greatness. We know what he is. But asking him to do things that he did in his whole career, including mid-30s, now in his late 30s, going into his early 40s, is unsustainable, and you couldn't win like that. So it's a refreshing sight for Laker fans seeing Austin Reeves getting more and more involved. Austin Reeves seeing like if he can pick up on this workload that LeBron James is really feeling like a third option on most nights. Like LeBron James is able to actually sit in the corner while they're running their sets and picking and choosing his spots and when he wants to attack and put his input on a game. Like it's an amazing sight to see. And I think that makes them more scarier than ever. I mean, Dallas. I mean, it's a couple teams that you can say, but I think a sneaky team will be the Lakers. I mean, I'm not going to take early season success for granted. It's always those teams that start off hot and end up flaming out. But I think they can sustain this success and be real deal contenders in the West if they make a move. I feel like they have to get off of D'Angelo Russell. It's a lot of viable options that's going to be out there. Zach LaVine's. I mean, it's especially because Zach LaVine got a contract. I can't really think about too many other names at the moment. I mean, Lauri Markkanen will be on the market as soon as I think January, right before All-Star break. So those are a couple names that y'all should keep your eye out for the Lakers to really make moves in order to improve their roster. But they look good, man. They look really good, and I think they could be real deal contenders if they continue to play and the amazing coaching from JJ Redick.
That's solid. I'm not gonna lie. I think the thing that kind of gives me pause about the Lakers is like the set, especially with the way that LeBron has been looking for majority of the season. Granted, overreaction towards the first few games, but it seems like it's 80 or bust. And I like what I'm getting from AR as well. But I mean, you talking about them making a move. How many seasons have we gone about seeing D'Angelo Russell in potential trade rumors or trying to get shipped off or things of that nature? And for that to not come to fruition, not to say that it can't, but that's the things that give me pause for the Lakers. It's literally AD or bust, at least from my standing. For me, the scariest team from the Western Conference, and I know it sounds obvious, but I got to give it to OKC. I mean, for what it's worth, they are basically were the way that I kind of look at them is like they're kind of the Houston Texans, but in basketball sense. And what I mean by that is like they, in a lot of people's eyes, outside of say the faithful fans and those within the organization, they kind of caught the league by storm. Nobody really expected them to kind of do what they did last season. And now this year they have a target on their back. Now, we are faithful Houston fans, so we kind of have a little bit of a skewed view towards the Texans. But as far as what OKC has been doing, they have everybody's number. And it seems like they're not running from it. Shea is looking like one of the best guards in the league. He already was, but I guess it's kind of asserting himself at this point for a lot of those that didn't necessarily know. I was expecting J-Dub to take the biggest leap out of everybody for the Thunder, but it seems like within this first few sample size of games, it's Chet that's making that leap, in my opinion. He's doing his thing. The fact that they're out here making short work of these different basketball teams and they're not even doing this at full strength when they still don't have Hartenstein, when they're, just kind of getting their feet wet and getting accustomed to the guys of the likes of like Alex Caruso. It's like it's really scary for anybody that's in the Western Conference. I mean, they went up against the presumable favorites and the Nuggets for whatever it's worth, and they basically just dog walked them. And I seen that from start to finish. Like, if it wasn't Jokic doing anything, then it seemed like they couldn't do hardly a thing whatsoever. Granted, Jamal Murray had an off night, but they don't got no bench whatsoever. They're top heavy. For the Suns, their bench scoring isn't good. It's literally just KD, Book, y'all got to do your thing and build. If you want to show up, show up. If not, it's cool. But they can't seem to get anything like that. For the Wolves, I think I just need to see a longer extended look of what Randall and his fit could do. I like what I've seen from the Mavs, but as far as the best team from the West, I sound like Omari, but I got to give it to them boys that rep that Thunder, man.
And
And
Omari
look,
does the same
hey,
thing.
look, man, look, I ain't mad at it. You already know who I was gonna say. You already know it's the Thunder, man. Look, we already looking scary, bro. Look, this man Chet, like Charles said, took that humongous step. This man is playing out of his mind, bro. Shea looks better. You know what I'm saying? J-Dub looks better. We don't have Isaiah as of right now. Well, Harkenstar. I think his name Isaiah Harkenstar. I'm
Yeah,
tripping.
Isaiah Harkenstar.
We ain't got him at the moment, but man, look, when we have him, bro, he's gonna be a fucking problem. Like, I don't know. I feel like our team now is like, I'm not gonna say perfect, but damn it, we damn near there. Like we looking pretty damn good, man. I was surprised that we beat the damn Nuggets. I was like, wow, like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like we gave Jokic a hard time in a sense, but you know what I'm saying? That Chet really took like a huge, like he stepped up that game, man. He stepped up. He done stepped this game up. He looks a lot better. I mean, even on just the watching like in the offseason, like watching like him training and everything like that, he looked like he could shoot better. He's looking more smoother, you know what I'm saying, going to the rack and everything. I mean, we all know Shea, like we all know he gonna hoop. It's just the team looks well put together, man. Especially like with the pickup of Alex Caruso, like on defense, he looks pretty damn good, man. Like I like what I'm seeing for the Thunder, so I'm gonna go ahead and say like we're gonna be the scariest team in the West for sure. So
Much respect to you. I ain't got no fight back with you. I like OKC. Sam Presti is doing his thing as a GM, man, and it's safe to say all them draft picks that them niggas had stored up over the years finally came and did wonders for them. They're pretty much they're kind of in like that NBA, you know, that NBA 2K GMO where it's kind of like you can cut like if you really want to, you could put yourself in the front of the draft every year. You can get all the good talent, and then also it's like they did right. They traded for SGA. They developed him into the star that he is today. They drafted Jada 3 years or 2 years ago, and now him, I'm low key kind of disappointed in him. I was kind of expecting him to take that Paul George step and being like that real deal, like not elite, but really good two-way player. Haven't really seen that yet, but obviously it's 3 games in the season's early. Don't want to put a tag on anything. You can't really shoot. All we know, okay, so you could be the worst team in the league by the end of the year. Obviously, that's a stretch, but 3 games is 3 games. But okay, City does look good. They do look scary. Isaiah Hartenstein not back yet. Chet does look like a whole new man, and y'all got Alex Caruso coming off the bench for y'all. I mean, Caruso's a starter on 99% of teams, so the fact that he's able to come off your bench, well, let me say 98, because he's not starting on Boston. I'm sorry. Hey, that's a juggernaut in itself.
yeah.
But y'all look good, man. Y'all look good. It's gonna be a really interesting season if everybody can remain healthy, because I think it's gonna be y'all, the Mavericks, and the Lakers. That's my 3 teams that I feel like got real deal contention, or real deal contention. I was gonna say aspirations, but potential. That don't even sound right. Shit, it don't matter.
Contender potential,
Yeah, contender potential contender. That shit don't even matter. On to the next topic.
Put that Harden down. All right, man. We moving back to the NFL, man. We finna get in the TCal's top 5 power rankings, man. So let's hear it, bro.
Hey, man. It's another day, another week, another dollar, another TCal top 5 prediction. I'm not even prediction. This is the TCal ranking list. The most, if you want the most bang for your buck, if you want to make some money, I suggest you go with TCal top 5 prediction list. I mean, top 5 NFL ranking list, because I promise you, man, he will never disappoint. Starting off at number 5, man. Starting off at number five, we got the Washington Commanders, man. Now, for all the hate that people might want to give to that, I mean, they're 6-2. I mean, that was a really good Bears defense they just had to go against, and they almost lost. And that Bear game in itself was just insane. Like, I mean, shoot, multiple play. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into all that because we'll talk about it another day. But I think Washington is a low-key scary team. Jaden Daniels is a special quarterback, man. Terry McLaurin is that dude. He's the number 1 receiver in this league. I mean, that team is built for success. And if they get some more defensive talent on that side of the ball, man, that will be a real deal contender for years to come. Going at number 4. Going at number 4, I got the Green Bay Packers, man. Green Bay, you beat my Texans. We didn't get on the show last week, so to talk about that, you barely escaped by Jacksonville, which should have dropped you lower in my rankings, to be honest. But all the less, in the NFL, it's hard to win. It's hard to win. And you just continuously find ways to win week after week after week after week. Jordan Love, we need to see the status on you. I know he got injured in that game. You know, hopefully everything goes well for him. Hopefully he can make a speedy recovery. And, you know, he was just injured week 1. So it's kind of like, damn, like 2 injuries already in the season. Hopefully he's able to make it back for at least that San Francisco game. Oh, golly, never mind. They play Detroit next week. Oh, my goodness. He better make it back for that. Oh, my God. Ooh. Hey, best of luck to you. Going at number 3, man. Number 3, I got the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Now, for all the hate, all the criticism we give the Philadelphia Eagles, man, they look good. And I just feel like they found their identity. They're not trying to force Jalen Hurts to be something that he's not. Jalen Hurts, was he the best? Was he a top 5 quarterback? No. Did he have a top 5 season? He did. Of course he did. But utilizing Saquon Barkley, letting the offense flow through Saquon Barkley and your playmakers, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He didn't have Dallas Goedert, but going to those 2 guys, man, I mean, you're never losing. You're never losing. Saquon Barkley behind a decent O-line is one of the scariest sights you'll see in the NFL. A.J. Brown going against any defensive back is one of the scariest sights you'll see in the NFL, man. I mean, they proved it again and again. And you know what they did for me, fellas? They won me some goddamn money. They won me some goddamn money because they both hit over their line. So I could never be more grateful than I am right now for the Philadelphia Eagles for take care of business on Sunday. And y'all need to get my boy Nice in that game, man. Nice, he can play on y'all team. He can make an impact. Let's see my boy Nice where he's fully healthy. Let's see him out there on that field. He deserves it. Going at number 2, I got the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit, it might be crazy seeing them at number 2. They're beating every team. They putting belt to ass every single week. 52 points on Tennessee is no slouch. That was by far the most impressive win of the week. 50, Charles, I don't think you hear me. They scored 52 points and Jared Goff threw for 85 yards. That young man threw for 85 yards, and they scored 52 points. That team is unstoppable on all phases: offense, defense, special team. That's by far the best team in the NFC. That's going to be by far the team that's going to be where the NFC is going to have to run through if you're going to want to make it to the Super Bowl. They're going to have to go through Ford Field because they are not. I promise you, them boys are hosting the NFC playoffs through their field. Amon-Ra St. Brown is that guy. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery is the most scariest running back duo I've ever seen. Both guys, and it's crazy because, you know, at the beginning when they drafted Jahmyr, they was like, oh, they don't know how to use Jahmyr Gibbs. Why are you starting David Montgomery? But how do they look now? David Montgomery is a guaranteed touchdown every single week. And it's literally bully and speed. It's finesse and power. They come at you in all type of different ways. I mean, Jameson Williams is out with PEDs. I mean, we just seen, you know, his situation. I don't know if y'all seen it, but he got arrested about probably 2 weeks ago for gun charges or whatever. I mean, hopefully nothing serious comes about that. I mean, he was just driving home. But
being a damn delinquent.
They said being a YN. But I mean, the weapons they have they have Tim Patrick. And he was a really good wide receiver for the Denver Broncos prior to injury. Khalif Raymond. I mean, those guys, bro, they're so deep. Sam Laporte is a top 5 tight end in the league. Jared Goff is a real deal MVP candidate. I mean, that team is dangerous. Going to number 1, man, and it's obvious it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Is this the most popular pick? No. Is people tired of hearing the Chiefs? Yes. But are they the best team in the NFL? Yes. You know why they're the best team in the NFL? Because they continue to find ways to win. And it's not the prettiest. It's not the most flashiest. It's not what you want. It's not what you want, but it's what you need. Patrick Mahomes, he don't have to go out here and throw moon balls to the fastest people on the planet and make it look pretty for Dubs. All he just do is his identity is based off of that defense. Their defense is the best defense I've ever seen since. I mean, it's been some really good defenses, but this may be the best defense I've seen since the Legion of Boom. I mean, and it's not stars on that defense for the exception of Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie. And I mean, Nick Bolton doesn't get the credit he deserves, but Nick Bolton, he's a monster. But you can't, it's like you can't do anything on him. Like, if you want to run, good luck, buddy. It's not working. Like, you might as well throw that back. You might as well throw that game plan out the book. If in your first 15 plays you got anything that's involving you handing that ball off to your running back, you might as well scratch it up for a chalk. You going back to the line of scrimmage, if not negative. If not, you're going 1 yard. But you're not going anywhere. That is an elite defense. That is the best defense in the NFL by a milestone. It's not even close. I don't think a team has scored over 27 on them since last year. They're undefeated in the year 2024. I mean, should I continue? I mean, Kansas City, they have the best quarterback. His stats aren't the best. Let me tell y'all the teams that the Kansas City Chiefs have beaten this season. Baltimore Ravens, Cincinnati Bengals, Atlanta Falcons, Chargers, Saints, when everybody was high horses on Saints, and that's when they had Derek Carr, when they had Kamara, when they had Olave, when they had all their weapons. That's before they disabled 49ers and a blackout. and a blackout.
Nigga cut the light off.
And a goddamn blackout. They beat them damn Raiders, man. But that's the best team in the league, man. And it's crazy to say that they don't even have all their full players at their display right now. I mean, if Hollywood Brown comes back, if they get DeAndre Hopkins acclimated to the Kansas City way, I mean, that team is going to be dangerous. That team is going to be a real deal threat of being the first team in NFL league history to ever three-peat. So my top five: number 1, Kansas City; 2, Detroit; 3, Green Bay; 4, wait. Am I tripping? Let me start from the bottom. 5, Washington. Yeah, I might be tripping. Charles, am I tripping? Ooh. Oh, yeah, I'm tripping. 5, Washington; 4, Green Bay; 3, Philadelphia; 2, Detroit; and 1, Kansas City. Fellas, thoughts, opinions, criticisms, praises, lottery tickets. What you got?
You did not eat your Wheaties. My list looks a little different. I'm not gonna lie. We got a good chunk of the same teams. I got one other one in there, but it ain't the craziest thing in the world.
And who is that?
Well, let me start off like this. The Commanders were my first one off the list. So I just want to start about it. They do look good, though. I think that, we don't have to sit up here and pretend and make it seem like they're not a real team or anything like that. I think they've kind of proven themselves. At 5, and I don't want to sound biased, but I got the Texans.
You're biased.
I ain't trying to be biased. But I'm just looking at the field, even with all of our detriment of players, when it comes to injuries and everything like that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, it's not a lot of competition in terms of who's the best team in the AFC outside of the Chiefs. And I think we're like literally right below. And granted, that would probably be a better case for me to make when we're healthy. But even when we're not at full strength, while we have literally just had a topic about cause of concern and panic, I still think we're one of the ones. 4, I don't like this, but I got to give it to Philly. Philly is definitely a more than capable team. They don't win pretty, but they do win. And as crazy as it sounds, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's not the most productive person in the world, but he definitely has his moments. AJ Brown is a monster. AJ Brown basically is looking like AJ Brown is looking like a top 5 receiver. And it's
I mean,
evident.
he is the top 5 receiver. What you mean?
Okay, well, let me put it to you like this. When he's off the field, he might be the most valuable player on that Philadelphia roster. Because when he's off, they are light years away from what they truly can be. And
So
that's
you believe he's their biggest X factor.
yes. And that's with Saquon Barkley on the squad. I mean, they never really had a bad running game. Saquon just made it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have that amazing outside threat at the level that he is, it just takes them to a whole nother level. 3, I got the Packers, especially with the way that Minnesota looked against LA. It's kind of hard to go up against a team that's been looking as lights out as they have. I mean, the Packers, they're doing this and scraping by with wins, and that's without their star quarterback in Jordan Love. I mean, for what it's worth, even though they went up against Jacksonville, which isn't saying much, I mean, Malik Willis has literally saved them in multiple games. I think we have to kind of look at him as like being a quality quarterback in the NFL, not in terms of like among the elite, but he's definitely able to hold his own kind of to the same level of what Sam Darnold was able to do for Minnesota so far this season. For number 2, and honestly, it really is gonna sound like I'm hating, but I'm gonna say the Chiefs, and number 1, the Lions. And the reason why is because I genuinely look at the Chiefs as being a very great and talented team. But at the same time, if they were to go head to head with Detroit, in my heart of hearts, I really feel like Detroit will get the W. I feel like while the Chiefs have the best defense in the NFL, the Lions have an offense that is the best in the NFL as well. So it's literally just a clash of titans. And with the way that Kansas City has been looking on the offensive side of the ball, especially with how volatile Mahomes has been by his standards, and with the way that Detroit has been looking like on the defensive side of the ball over the past few weeks, I just got to give the edge to the Motor City.
I just feel, my only pushback, the Texans don't deserve to look like no 5. They're not a top 5 team. And the only reason I say that they're not a top 5 team is because top 5 teams, at least I see 5 teams that's in the league that can finish better than us. And did you put the Vikings at 3, right? You say you put the Packers?
Yeah, I put the Packers.
Now if I could go, I'll probably I'm not a fan of that Detroit and Kansas City. Like Kansas City, I think it's more of the fact that you falling in love with the flash of how everything is going. Like obviously they're beating up on anybody who they're playing, but they look the best in doing it. Kansas City is not what you. It basically like it's not what you want to see, but it's what you need to see. Like it's a lot of ugly grind nose, bring your hard head. We're gonna grind you down, and then at the end, we got a quarterback in Mahomes that we know that can make all the plays, that is wiser than any human being that ever touched a football, for the exception of Tom Brady. And it's just not the most exciting brand of football to watch. So it's real easy to to say it's Detroit, and not discrediting your list or anything, but I just feel like Kansas City won't get that true respect until they really just like look like what we done been known to see since 2019 as the Kansas City Chiefs.
I feel that. My only pushback is outside of the Chiefs, who if the Chiefs are your top dog, then who's literally the only team in the NFL that looks like they could be on that comparable level? And outside of Detroit, there really is no argument for anyone. Not for us, not
No
for
fucking no.
not for the Packers, not for the Eagles. I mean, and while it isn't the most aesthetically appealing style of football, I respect it. Like I'm not gonna sit up here and act like them winning in close games and not by 30 points with 300-yard gains from Mahomes and 4 touchdown passes from him. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like that's the only way that they can win. But I guess it's just something about domination in the game of football where it's just kind of asserting your presence as being the team to beat, in my opinion.
I respect it because I understand where you coming from. Like Kansas City is like you, and like Detroit is me when it comes to like Madden. Like you play a boring style of football that's just very unappealing, very trash. You want to run the football down, I formation. You want to chew the clock, kick your field goals, be a weenie. And then you got guys like TCal who gonna air that motherfucker out. That's gonna throw for 500 yards. That's gonna showboat. That's gonna go for 2. I'm gonna put my punter in and go for it on 2-point conversions. Ask Omari. I did it to him a couple times. That's gonna make the game look just appealing. Just a lot, just domination. Just a lot of belt to ass going on. So I kind of understand. Like you like more like the TCal style of play instead of your style of play where it's like, all right, I'm gonna grind you down. Your defense is nowhere near Kansas City, by the way. It's really bad. But I'm just talking about to your offense.
You know, we just played each other. You know what that result was?
Dude, I was halfway asleep. They say, shoot, you can get it the moment we get off this podcast. I'm right in front of you. You see what's right here? Your worst nightmare. TCal sticks in a TV.
They set it up. It's
Man,
good.
who trying to get that work in Mortal Kombat or any fighting game?
Man,
Ask TCal about that.
Hey, let's get this podcast out the way. We can do whatever y'all trying to. Let's go.
Yeah.
But
moving on to the main. Oh wait.
Next time. Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, get yours.
Yeah, get yours in. Just tell us your 5. We'll debate you. We'll debate you if it's bad.
5, I had the Packers. 4, Commanders. 3, I had the Eagles. So with the Chiefs on the line, I don't want to put the Lions number 1, but Lions number 2, Chiefs number 1. I mean, I hate putting the Chiefs at number 1 because literally their style of play is like, I guess you could, not the most appealing, but Mahomes just found this other way. He found another way to win, bro. Like, and you can't be mad at it. He ain't got to throw for like 300, 3 tugs, like 4 tugs. He ain't got to do that no more. Like, he just like I don't even think he cares about just being the best quarterback in the league anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think he cares about just like getting it done. He like, oh, I ain't even worried about that, bro. Let's just get this dub. I want another ring. I want another Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I respect that. I like that list.
Let me start on 58, 23.
It's not bad. I like it.
Be mad at it. But moving on to college football. Well, we ready to move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to college football, though, man. Look, Colorado. Does Colorado have a chance to make it to the college football playoffs?
I think they do. Only reason I say that. Oh wow, Colorado's ranked.
Yeah, they 23.
Wow. Okay. Well, I take that back. I mean, yeah, I feel like they do have a chance. Also, I'm gonna give Elijah. I'm gonna give you an apology, Colorado. Y'all proved me wrong. Y'all did it right. He done added the podcast a couple times, man. I'm gonna give him what he asked for, man. We was wrong. We was wrong about Colorado not gonna be contending in the Big 12. Even though I did say, to my credit, that the Big 12 is the conference where offensive lines don't really matter because they're just a flinging around a yard ass conference. So it's not that ground and pound as a Big 10 or like that pro style, that pro pro level resemblance like a SEC or a Big Ten. So I mean, I think they kind of really benefited being in a conference where trenches isn't just a key, a key factor when it comes to your wins and losses. Like your skill players is going to take you home most of the time in the Big 12, and supposedly it was supposed to be the Pac 12, but I mean they had another thing coming last year. But Shador Sanders looked like the best quarterback in college football. Um, Travis Hunter looks like the best player in college football and a rightful Heisman candidate, man. I mean, enough credit can't go around to Dion for really turning that team around, man. Going from a 4-win team, all the criticism, all the hate that he got this previous year, man, to coming back 6-2 on the season, man, proving all the haters wrong, proving all the doubters wrong. And truthfully, I'm a Colorado fan. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and sit there and say I'm not. I can say I'm truthful. Like anybody in their right mind that said they thought that Colorado would be where they at right now is lying. They are lying because nobody, especially after what they seen against that Nebraska, and obviously we see what Nebraska is now. That should just tell you all you need to know. Like, bro, nobody was on no Colorado. They can make it to the playoffs. They could be ranked. Like nobody thought that, but they proved everybody else wrong. They came to play. They bring their hard head every single week. Shador looks amazing. The skill position, they have a couple. They have a couple draft picks in that skill position group. Shepard, he's nice. Webster, I mean, he's gonna be a real twitchy slot kick returner, special teams guy in the NFL. I mean, they have talent. They have talent in that skill position. Big 12 is the perfect conference for you to implement that talent, especially when you have elite quarterback play with Shador Sanders. So it's like it's nothing but kudos, respects to Colorado for proving all the doubters wrong, being eligible for a bowl game, and potentially being eligible for the college football playoffs if you continue to take care of your business for the rest of the year. Just no more losses. You can't take another loss. The moment you lose, because they have no more ranked opponents on their schedule. Everybody who we thought that were going to be ranked, they're unranked. Utah lost their quarterback. Kansas just straight bad. Oklahoma State is boo-boo. So it's just kind of, it wasn't what we expected out of the Big 12 whatsoever. But nevertheless, Colorado, y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. Nothing but congrats to y'all. And y'all got two special guys that gonna make it to the league and Shador and Travis, man. Y'all earned everything that y'all got. And I'm the first one to say when I'm wrong, and I was wrong with Colorado. Y'all shot the world.
Yeah, I think me and Keith, we kind of when he was on the episode with us, we was talking about how there's no way in hell that the Buffaloes were gonna play all these teams when they're ranked because they're gonna end up taking themselves out. And lo and behold, they did. And I had a feeling that they would go bowling, but I never thought that they would truthfully be a playoff contender. I mean, the fact that they're ranked, especially after what they looked like against Nebraska, I mean, it's a miracle in itself, in my opinion. But at the same time, I got to give respect and credit where it's due. Dion is doing a hell of a job. Shador is doing his thing on the offensive side of the ball. Travis Hunter is basically being Travis Hunter, which is all you can ask for if you're a Colorado fan. They definitely can. I think if we're trying to be on the literal side of things, it's going to be kind of tough. And the reason I say that is because while they only have one loss in conference play, they already have 2 losses in general. 3 losses will kind of be extremely generous for a team like them to get in the playoff, especially if they don't go to the Big 12 championship and get a ring. And then they're already in 4th place. And that's with a great record. Like BYU still undefeated. Iowa State is still undefeated. And they lost to Kansas State in the head-to-head, and they only have 1 loss on the year. So it's going to be really tough if they can't control the things that they can and let everything else play out. They're going to need help because if they win out and everybody else does too, then they're going to be, second fiddle for even getting a chance to go to play in Dallas for the Big 12 championship. So it's going to be tough, but they definitely have a chance if they handle their side of the bargain and see some level of chaos happen within the scheme of the Big 12.
I really do feel like Colorado can make the playoffs, especially with these next games coming up. They should be easy wins. Not I ain't gonna say easy wins, but they should be dubs for them. I mean, they have Texas Tech, who is 5-3. They have Utah, who is 4-4. They have Kansas, who is 2-6. Then they have Oklahoma State, who is 3-5. I feel like hell yeah, they should make it to the college football playoffs. They should for sure make it to the Big Ten championship as well, bro. Like, I mean, they're ranked what? What is it? Colorado ranked what? 23 now? That's what y'all said.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
enough said. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they for sure can make it. The way Shador and Travis are playing, really just that whole damn team is playing is amazing. Props to Dion. You know what I'm saying? He coached them boys right. He got them doing everything right. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him for real. Like everybody on the field handling their business, bro. Like Travis just had a monster game against Cincinnati, bro. I think he had like did he have what 11 receptions and 2 tugs or something like that with like 113 yards or something like that. I forgot. It was something like that, but he just came off a monster game, bro, and he was making plays on defense. So it's like you got the best two-way player in college football on your team. You got I'm gonna say this is like you got the second best quarterback in college football on your team, man, and it's just you know what I'm saying, everything has just been like smooth, like a well-oiled machine for them. So they for sure should make the college football playoffs, especially with these next games coming up. They should go undefeated, like in these games coming up. So
Yeah, I feel that. Only reason I say that it ain't a guarantee is because even if they win out, like they gotta wait for stuff above them to kind of shake up.
yeah,
That's my opinion.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Y'all ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. Next topic. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. This NFL are we talking about for the biggest shocker of the season? Okay, moving on to the next topic, man. Which team has been the biggest shocker for y'all this season in the NFL?
Man, let me give it to y'all straight. I wasn't expecting this one, man. I gotta give it to the Arizona Cardinals, man. I was not expecting the Arizona Cardinals to still be relevant in the month of October going into November, man. First off, congratulations for y'all for taking care of that belt-to ass against the Los Angeles Chargers on Monday night, man. I appreciate that. Keep them niggas way
They barely beat us.
bottom of the bottom.
They barely beat us.
Bottom of the trenches.
And the Cardinals got Mark charged up.
We gave them Saints that BTA treatment.
Man, we talking about the Cardinals, man. We ain't talking about
we couldn't stop James Conner. We could not stop him.
Yeah.
We had Marvin Harrison in the box. I mean, shit.
I mean, James Conner did what he's supposed to, so that's all.
And truthfully, we really should have won that game if Bro didn't call that flag on Cam Hart. But hey, it's all good.
Y'all lost, so it's good. I mean, it was a great night that night. But I mean, the Arizona Cardinals, man, shockers, man, biggest shocker by far because I mean we was in the runnings for Buda Baker to the Texans, Buda Baker to the Texans. We wanted it. We thought it was gonna be a fire show in Arizona with all the older guys, the older contributing guys on their team. But I mean, Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison, it seems like they're developing some type of rapport, some type of chemistry, but it looked good. And against Miami, he went up against, I don't know where y'all have Jalen Ramsey ranked in your cornerback rankings, but I'll say he's a top 10 cornerback. He gave that young man work. Marvin Harrison gave him work, 6 catches, 111, and a tut. I mean, they were just on the same wavelength from like start to finish. Kyler Murray, 300 yards in the air. I mean,
he couldn't do that shit against us.
I know all they could do was win. But
all they could do was run.
Moral victories.
Hey, fact, you can get your more victory out. But I mean, the defense is getting better and better by the week, man. I mean, James, they have a great tight end in Trey McBride, second year play out of Colorado State, man. He's top 10 tight end already. Not in disrespect, he's a top 7 tight end already. Explosive pass catcher. Needs a lot of respect put on his name because he does his job very well, day in, day out. Kyler Murray trying to make a resurgence. I mean, with his legs, I mean, the scamper when he did on the Chargers, man, was just beautiful. I mean, took off down that sideline. I'm looking. I said, God damn. I'm like, did the Chargers come to play defense today, or they wanted to get him a personal escort to the end zone? I mean, he was untouched. But I mean, the Cardinals 4-4 going into Week 9. Did anybody have that on their bingo card? I know nobody did. I know if you're a Charger fan, you was expecting to win that game. I know if you're a Dolphins fan with Tua coming back, I know y'all was expecting to win that game. I know if you was a Rams fan, even with all your weapons out, y'all was expecting to win that game. But you know what? Y'all couldn't beat them. They gave y'all that belt to ass, which y'all deserved. And I mean, it's nothing but kudos for them, man. I feel like they could be a real deal threat in the NFC, can potentially make a wild card. I mean, I was gonna say wild card. They're in a race to that NFC West division right now because that division is in shambles. You got Seattle at 4-4. I think you got what is San Francisco? San Francisco is let me check that real quick. San Francisco is 4-4. Seattle's 4-4. Rams is 3-4. I mean, they're in the lead of the division. They're 2-0 the division. So nothing but kudos and respect for the Arizona Cardinals, man, for making believers out of us non-believers, man. We thought it was gonna be a fire sale, but y'all came to play football this year. Kyler Murray trying to make a resurgence. Then the defense continuously getting better and better week in and week out, man. I think the sky's the limit with this team, and they can continue to build through the draft. They have a lot of cap room with free agency, man. Y'all just keep doing what y'all doing, and the sky will be the limit. But I really like what the Cardinals got going on this season. Biggest shockers to me.
I like that. I like that. My team, that's a big shocker. I'm gonna say the Broncos. I like how they look. I like how they look. I like how Bo Nix look. He may not play the greatest every time, but I know when he played against us, that boy showed me something. Like I like how he throw the ball, bro. I like his decision making, bro. The way he's able to run the ball. Like the defense is pretty damn good, even though they
defense is great.
You know, yeah, their defense is very good. But like, damn, who I'm missing? Pat Surtain. That's who I'm looking for, right? That's who I'm looking for. I think he was hurt that game. Yeah, Pat Surtain. Yeah, even though Pat was out that game because of a head injury, he had like a slight head injury or whatever, so he didn't really get too many snaps. But bro, the Broncos are actually nice. Like Bo Nix he's one of those emerging quarterbacks like out of his class. Like he looking nice. He looking real promising, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like he wasn't looking too good at first, but now I feel like he's getting that confidence and he can lead that team, bro. Like that boy Bo Nix nice, bro. I like the Broncos. I like how they look.
And truthfully, the Broncos were going to be my team that I was going to choose. I'm right there with you, Mar. Just to be different and give three different perspectives. I'm going to stand on business from what I said from the jump. I'm going to say the Vikings. I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't expect the Vikings to, do much of anything, especially after getting rid of Kirk Cousins. But for what they've been doing this entire season so far, I mean, you could make a strong argument for Kevin O'Connell to be coach of the year, like just off of what he's able to do on the offensive side of the ball, the way that he's made Sam Darnold basically revive his career by the opportunity he was given with J.J. McCarthy out. And that's the thing. J.J. McCarthy wasn't even supposed to, do anything other than start. Like he was supposed to be on the field. And the fact that Sam Darnold is, making some shape. Granted, we got a sour taste in our mouths from that last game against the Rams. But even with that being said, I mean, they only have 2 losses. Like they're in firm position for a push towards getting to the top of the NFC North and potentially a first round bye. That way they could have a chance of winning the NFC. Like that's a tremendous. Brian Flores, although his pressure and his productivity has kind of slowed down and cooled off, the defense is still electric. Jonathan Grenard is a beast. And while I don't necessarily miss him because we do got Daniil Hunter, I will say that Vikings, they got a good one in him as well for the edge rusher that he is. He is a monster, and he's been there for them this entire season. Harrison Smith still doing things at his age. I mean, this Vikings team is really good. And for me to expect them to be basically the worst team in that division just for them to, for a large period of time, look like the best team in the NFL before they lost their first game. I got to go with Minnesota.
Respect.
Yeah, I rock with that, bro. That's great analysis by you. 14, 56. Okay. Damn, I messed up. My fault. All right, moving on to the next topic, man. My question to y'all is, which team has been more disappointing this year, the Jets or the Cowboys? Let me know something, bro.
It's hard for me. Really hard. Two really piss poor teams, man. But if I had to give it to one, man, and you know how much I hate that one team, but it has to be the Jets. I mean, the Jets just with all this talent. I mean, you bring in Devontae Adams off of a trade. You fire your head coach after the problem was clearly not his side of the ball, but obviously blame on any side of the ball goes to head coach first, despite your title, which is the offensive or defensive head coach, which in this case, Robert Saleh was the defensive. It's very, very, very disappointing because I had the Jets as the division winners in their division. That AFC East seemed like it was theirs, man. Their defense was vaunted last year. I mean, and Shannon Sharp said it better than anybody else. You don't see teams come back and do the same thing they do twice on the defensive side of the ball. The only teams that they said that looked good were the 84, 85 Bears. They came back and looked the exact same, if not a little better than the year prior. But outside of that, you don't have great defenses that come back and you bring back the same majority of the same pieces and they come back and be great. That defense isn't good anymore. Now, are they a bad defensive unit? No. But they're not the same defensive unit whatsoever for what they was last year. And Aaron Rodgers don't have the luxury of them shutting teams down to under 20 points or right at 20 points to win games. Aaron Rodgers, he's not playing his best ball whatsoever, man. I mean, he is the cancer of that team. I mean, that just goes to show, man, that ego, all that too much dip on your chip, you always gonna get burned. In the end of the day, you always have to stay humble. Forever stay humble. If you don't learn nothing else from this experience, man, stay humble. He always wanted. He was the main one. Oh, like we're gonna keep don't jump off and try to come back onto the Jets bandwagon when they get it going. Well, guess what, buddy? You're about 2 more games losing from being out of playoff contention because I promise you, they're not gonna go undefeated the rest of the year. So, and you got a tough task ahead of you on Thursday with them Houston Texans. So I hope you iced up, son. I hope you iced up because it's gonna be a long one. But that offensive line is just bad. Tyron Smith, man, Cowboys look like, and Cowboys are a lot of awful things, but not on that one. Tyron Smith looked like one of the worst left tackles in the game. I mean, he gets dominated week in and week out by not even superior pass rush. He gets dominated by anybody who steps foot on his side of the field. I mean, pass pro is awful. Their receivers have no chemistry with the quarterback. Garrett Wilson's making boneheaded plays, dropping passes here and there. They don't seem like they ever been on the same page. And when they do force feed them, it's kind of taking out the rhythm and the flow of the offense. I mean, it was one kind of game they in Minnesota, not in Minnesota, but they played Minnesota in London. And he gave him about 15 catches. I'm just like, that's kind of that's insane in a sense, and especially because if you was to watch that game, all those catches were kind of 5 yard, like behind the line of scrimmage, make a play 2 yard. It weren't nothing like down the field, like they was kind of force feeding him the ball, and it kind of threw off the flow of the game. And I'm like, that's off. Like, I know star receivers when they complain, they get that way. But that's off. Like you don't do that. Like that's not what you do. 15. And it's crazy because it was so absurd, and I need to look it up because I want to make sure that I have 100%. Like I'm 100% in what I'm saying because I don't want to be wrong.
For the targets for Garrett Wilson
in that game,
I think it was 22.
13 catches, 101 yards. 13 cat. You know, that's less than like that's 7.8 yards a catch. That's insane for an outside wide receiver. 7.8 yards a catch. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous on 23 targets. I mean, it was some array from the start. Like, they can't get a run game going whatsoever, and they have two great backs in Brees Hall and Braylon Allen, man. I mean, Quinn Williams, he was an all-pro last year. I mean, his brother was an all-pro last year. Amon Sauce Garner, he was an all-pro last year. I mean, C.J. Mosley, he was a Pro Bowler last year. I mean, it was too many good players for them not to be contending. So, I mean, I think the biggest disappointment by far should be the Jets, and it shouldn't even be close.
I'm not gonna lie, you make some good points, but if I'm being honest, the only reason I'm not choosing the Jets is because I didn't expect much from the Jets. From the jump, I knew that they were not going to be a good team, or at least not the level of winning the division. I didn't think it would be this bad, but I was standing on business by saying that I don't think that the Jets are going to make anything shaking at AFC East, let alone the AFC. For me, it's obviously the Cowboys. For what it's worth, the Jets are an atrocious organization. They can't do anything right, and they were extremely desperate in getting Aaron Rodgers, expecting the best version of him, when now we're currently looking at him for the sample size that we have so far, and he's playing at his worst. But while they have a lot of expectations based on fantasy, the Cowboys have a lot of expectations based on reality. I know that kind of sounds crazy from someone from Houston that automatically knows how Cowboys fans are very delusional in their own right. But for what it's worth, I mean, over the past 3 seasons in the regular season, they've won 36 games and only lost 15. That's 12 wins in the season, and they've had that for 3 straight years. Dak Prescott just came off of an MVP caliber season for the low level of production that we've seen from the NFL over the stretch of 17 games last year. CeeDee Lamb just came up off of the most productive receiving season we've seen last year out of everyone else of the candidates. The running game was basically non-existent last year, but for what it's worth, they didn't necessarily have to rely on it too much. Jerry Jones sat on his high horse, and he didn't make anything out of free agency. He didn't even bother to touch it hardly at all. He basically was like, let me get these guys from the draft. Let me get rid of some of these players on our roster, and let's re-sign our big boys. We re-signed Dak Prescott, gave him the most money in guaranteed history, and we re-signed CeeDee Lamb, make sure he's here for a long time. And so far, it's been a shit show. It's been bad. It's been awful. Dak Prescott literally goes into games when things are on the line, especially at the start of the game, he wets the bed. And then when things are, out of the balance, when the game is pretty much set in stone and in hand, he gets these garbage time stats to make it seem like with your box score watching, he has a great game. And he doesn't. The running game on their side of the ball is awful. And I don't know why they thought that Ezekiel Elliott would fix that. I mean, last game, literally on Sunday, they went up against the 49ers, a depleted roster, a squad with no Christian McCaffrey, a squad with no Jordan Mason, a squad with Deebo Samuel getting hurt in the middle of the game, a squad with no Brandon Jennings, or Jawan Jennings, I should say, and a squad with no Brandon Ayuk because he's out for the season. And if at any point in time you were able to beat the 49ers over the past few seasons, it would be now when they're not even close to full strength. And to be fair, the Cowboys aren't at full strength either. But the difference between the Cowboys and the 49ers is that the Cowboys' injuries have been on the defensive line between Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. But even when they were healthy, they weren't good. They weren't world beaters. They weren't even average. They were playing bad defense over the stretch of the season when they were healthy. And you take away those players that are supposed to be your game changers, your game wreckers, and they're even worse. They went up against that 49ers offense, and the 49ers accounted for, just to make sure I got this right, 223 yards. But that is insane. And the Cowboys put up a whopping 56. That is terrible. Where's the offensive level of production? I get when the game is out of hand, you want to throw the ball as opposed to running it, but it shouldn't even get to that point going up against a team that is on pins and needles spiraling in their own right. We looked at San Francisco as being a world beater heading into the season. These guys are barely at 500, and you lost to them when they're at their lowest that we've seen throughout the course of the tenure of Kyle Shanahan up to this point. Dallas had real expectations for what it's worth. Mike McCarthy had real expectations. The defense had real expectations. The offense had real expectations. Dak Prescott had real expectations. Jerry Jones had real expectations. And they have not done anything to warrant any level of productivity this entire season. They're under 500. They look like debatably the worst team in the NFC East, and that's a division that's shared with the New York Giants. We know how bad they are. They just don't seem like a good team. And to be frank, they're not. Neither are the Jets, but at least the Jets have been a shit show for a long period of time, and we kind of expect that from them. They haven't been in the playoffs since we was in middle school. The Cowboys are supposed to be relatively good enough in the regular season at least. And right now, it don't even look like they're finna make the playoffs.
Wish you're not.
Yeah. It's crazy. But hey, I gotta keep it a beam, man.
Fuck. Nah. I gotta say, like my most disappointing team, it gotta be the Jets. I want to say the Cowboys, but nah. Most disappointing team, I gotta say the Jets, man. It's crazy. A-Rod got all this talent, man, and it's just like, damn, you can only lead them to 2 wins game. Like, come on, bro. Like, I thought they would be way better than this, especially after acquiring Devontae Adams, bro. One of the best receivers. Well, he should be one of the best receivers in the league. But, you know what I'm saying? After acquiring him and having all the weapons that he had with him, Brees Hall, Conklin, Adams, you know what I'm saying? Lazard coming in. Like, it's just crazy. It's very disappointing to see the Jets, like, fail like this, man. I don't know what's going on out there, but they need I don't know if it's the coaching or it's the players, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. Like, very disappointing. That's all I really got to say about them.
Yeah, it's spooky. It's spooky for both teams.
No, really. All right. Next topic, man. Who are y'all top 5 NFL MVP candidates right now?
And top 5 NFL MVP candidates at this present day moment, man. I got Jared.
My fault.
I got Jared Goff. I got CJ Stroud. I got Patrick Mahomes. I got Josh Allen. Yeah, I got Lamar Jackson.
It's almost perfect. For me, it's almost perfect.
Who you got?
Swap out Mahomes for Jaden Daniels, and you got me. Everything else you can keep the same.
Nah, Mahomes. I mean, he's 7-0. Like, this numbers don't look good, but there's no way. Just a match. If their team goes 17-0, I feel like they have to get. He has to win MVP. Would you agree? 17-0, he got to win MVP. I don't think it's a world where you can go undefeated in the National Football League and you don't win MVP.
I think that's more of a coach of the year argument than MVP.
No.
But
MVP?
The thing about that, though, is like, if he was we don't expect we expect better numbers from Mahomes this season based off of his, history. But the thing about Mahomes is, like, forget the fact that this is the worst season he's had up to this point in his career so far. I mean, he's one of the league leaders in interceptions. And at certain points in the season, he had a negative touchdown to interception ratio. They're not giving an MVP to someone that's that close.
I'm saying undefeated wise. I'm saying you can't have an MVP conversation without Mahomes being in it, despite what his statistics look like. Undefeated, and obviously, publicity and public status is a part of that conversation as well. So
you see how them commentators be eating them up on IG.
And Patrick Mahomes with an amazing 2-yard run.
That
Nobody does it like Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Patrick. Like, it's
look
always
at it,
something
bro.
crazy.
Look at it move. Oh, like they be doing the most, bro.
Look at the way that he handed that ball off. So inspirational.
Like you already know, y'all already know that he up there already in the MVP list.
Mara, who your top 5?
Let me get. You want me to start at 1? 5.
Yeah.
Start at 5. So 5. Pat Mahomes. He ain't been playing like himself, but like we said, we can't count that nigga out. 4, I'm gonna say Jared Goff. He's been playing amazing this season for sure. So CJ Stroud, he's been getting it done. Like he's literally the reason why the Texans are winning right now, other than the defense. But he's doing all that he can, and he's making it happen. That's all I can say. Lamar Jackson, he's doing pretty damn good this year. And then I might have to put Jaden Daniels at number 1, bro. Like I don't know, like this man is different. Jaden Daniels is different. When we see it like that damn game winner. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy. Just how he's just been going crazy this season. We already know like he's a different quarterback. Like he looked like a vet already. Like I don't know, Jaden Daniels look like something that you made, like somebody that you made in Madden, and you just like out there just slinging it out. Like it's crazy. But yeah, that's my list.
I respect it. Nice list. But let's go on to this last topic, man. Last topic, we're going with the NFL Week 9 predictions. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, we got the Houston Texans versus the New York Jets. Who are we picking?
I got the Jets. Looking at it, I got the Texans.
Versea? And it ain't too much explanation with this one. You know who I got. Going on to the next game.
Week 9 predictions?
Yeah. Going on to the next game, man. We got the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. Who are we taking?
Bills.
Man, Miami hasn't beaten them in so long.
All right, next game, we got the Baltimore Ravens versus the Denver Broncos.
I got the Ravens. I got the Ravens winning.
They playing in Denver or they playing in Baltimore?
In Baltimore.
Baltimore. Yeah,
I got Baltimore.
I got Baltimore as well. Next, we got the Los Angeles We got the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Cleveland Browns. Who are we taking?
I got the Chargers.
You know what we doing? We eating a W.
Oh my God! No way! Oh.
Hey Charles, I'm hungry too.
Yeah.
I got them boys.
I respect it though, because Jameis Winston he just turned everything around for them. But
I got them Cleveland Browns, man. The boys out of Ohio gonna take care of business. The Chargers are probably one of the most fraudest three lost teams in the league, including them Denver Broncos, man. Going to the next game, we got the New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. Man, we talking about
Panthers.
Talk about the Booty Bowl.
Oh, I got the Panthers, man.
Jesus. I got Carolina. New Orleans, they look like the worst team in the NFL without Derek Carr, and that's saying something. So
it's sad. They started off at a high pedestal.
I'll go New Orleans. To be different. Just to be
different is crazy.
Next, we got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals, man. Who are we taking? I got the Cincinnati Bengals, and I don't think it's going to be close.
I got the Bengals dropping them off.
I want to be different, but I can't. It's the Bengals.
That should be a free dub for Joe.
Next, man, we got the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. Who are we taking?
The Commanders.
Commanders by far. 3-0 Commanders sweep. Next, we got the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. Who are we taking?
At ATL, show me some. Dirty Birds up.
Oh God, I'm taking ATL.
Might as well change my name to T.I. the way I'm finna rep ATL.
Next, we got a personal favorite from one of our CDS members himself. We got the New England Patriots going up against Charles' very own Tennessee Titans.
God damn, Charles, what you gonna do?
Hey man, it's election year. I'm finna be a patriot today.
Bro, I'm thinking this nigga finna say his team. He just keep picking against his team. I'm going with the Patriots.
Drake May finna go crazy. This is gonna be Drake May breakout game right here.
If he play, I think he in concussion protocol.
Damn, already? What the?
Yeah, he got knocked out against the Jets.
Damn.
That game, we got the Chicago Bears versus the Arizona Cardinals. Who are we taking?
Oof. That's a toughie. Oof.
I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals in the shocker.
Yeah, the Cardinals is frisky. I like what I see from them over the course of the season. So I go Arizona.
Who they playing against again?
Chicago Bears.
Where they playing at?
Arizona.
Arizona got them. They got them. They fucking got them.
Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. Who are we taking?
Eagles.
You see, this the type of game the Eagles will fuck around and lose.
No Christian Kirk for the rest of the year and no Brian Thomas.
I mean, I'm going with the Eagles, but they will mess around and lose to a team like Jacksonville still. Like they'll find a way to close.
And they just traded their best offensive lineman to the Vikings.
Yeah. I got Philly though.
Next, we got the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers. Who will we take?
Ooh, that's gonna be a good ass game. Oh my god, I got the Lions though.
It depends on the status of Jordan Love, but if Jordan Love plays, I'm taking the Packers. But if he doesn't play, I'm taking the Lions.
We don't do ifs.
I mean, that's a reasonable if. That's based off of the injury off of somebody. So if he does play, then you know who I'm going with. If he doesn't play, you know who I'm going with.
You know Malik Willis undefeated, right?
You know this is the second best team in the NFL based off of the best rankings in all professional sports. TCal ranking list, right?
First best. I got Detroit.
Next, we got the Los Angeles Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. Who are we taking?
Seattle. I got Seattle.
I'm taking the Rams. Puka Nacua back, Cooper Kupp back, Kyron Williams. All their weapons are whole. I'm taking them all day.
This might be the most 50-50 game out of this whole week. But, man, Stafford gonna show him something. I got the Rams.
Next, we got Sunday Night Football. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Minnesota Vikings. Who are we taking?
Vikings.
You know we can't go with the division opponent.
Yeah, you know how I'm going with Vikings all day. And the last, we got Monday Night Football. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
And they playing in Kansas City.
I'm taking Kansas City.
Go ahead. It's the Chiefs.
It's a depleted Buccaneers team. No Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin.
Drop some heat on them boys, man.
I would choose Tampa Bay if they had their receivers. Hell, even just one of those receivers. But they don't. So, gotta roll with the Chiefs.
And with that being said, man, that was the last topic of the day. So that means that is a close for episode 27 of Check the Stats podcast, man. We appreciate y'all boys. If y'all made it to the end of this video, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow everybody on all their social medias, man. Link will be down low in the bio, man. We got a special surprise coming for y'all really soon. Let's get it. We're going to get our stuff together. I promise you the videos are coming back sooner than what y'all actually know it, man. And big things are coming real soon. I know y'all tired of hearing it if you make it this far in the video, but man, I promise you, stick with us. We on the grind. We getting stuff right. It's going to be a big surprise, and hopefully it's going to be real entertaining for y'all boys in the foreseeable future. But with that being said, CDS is signing out. Versea, you want to do the honors?
Hey, man, you already know what it is. If you need the facts, come check the stats. We out.